Imagine discovering your entire family, your parents, your brother, his partner, had planned their dream tropical getaway to the Bahamas without you. Not only were you excluded, but they expected you to stay home and watch their pets. That crushing betrayal hit me like a physical blow, and in that moment, something inside me snapped. Main story. It all started innocently enough. A casual phone call with my brother Samuel about Mom's upcoming birthday. But then, his voice, dripping with what I can only describe as fake concern, delivered the blow. "Oh, you didn't know about the Bahamas trip? I thought Mom told you we're all going next month. Mom, Dad, me and Beth." My stomach dropped. Then came the gut punch. Someone needs to watch their pets while we're gone, though. Mom said she'd ask you. I was standing in my kitchen, gripping my coffee mug so hard I swear the ceramic was screaming. My name is Allison Mitchell, and at 27, I'd just been blindsided. My entire family had cooked up a lavish tropical vacation, and not once had it occurred to them to even mention it to me, let alone include me. To hear about it, accidentally, like some inconvenient afterthought, it was a profound slap in the face. "No, Samuel," I managed, trying to keep my voice from cracking. "Mom hasn't mentioned anything about the Bahamas, or about pet sitting." He just laughed. "Well, you know how she is. She probably forgot. But you're not busy anyway, right? You can watch Rocky and Max for the week. Mom was counting on you, since you're the only one not going." The only one not going. Because they hadn't even invited me. Suddenly, years of little things clicked into place. All those hushed conversations at family dinners that abruptly stopped when I entered the room. The way my mom had been casually probing my work schedule. Even my dad's sudden interest in my dating life, probably hoping I'd have weekend plans that wouldn't interfere with their conveniently assigned pet-sitting duties. My blood ran cold with the realization that I wasn't just left out. I was deliberately kept in the dark, positioned as the ever-reliable placeholder. Later that evening, the inevitable call came. "Honey, I've been meaning to talk to you," Mom chirped. "We need a favor." "Let me guess," I retorted, the bitterness in my voice impossible to mask. "You need me to watch the dogs while you're all in the Bahamas." "Oh, Samuel told you," she said, completely unfazed. "Yes, it would be such a help, you know. Rocky gets anxious at the kennel, and Max needs his medication twice daily. We'll only be gone 8 days." I listened, my hand trembling slightly, as she rambled on about flight times and resort details, not a single word acknowledging my exclusion. Not even a token, "wish you could come," or "maybe next time." She just kept going, explaining Rocky's special food and Max's strict medication schedule, as if these mundane details could somehow paper over the gaping hole of my UN invitation. "So, you'll do it?" she asked, her voice impossibly bright. "Your father already told the kennel we wouldn't need them, and Samuel's so excited. He found this perfect little resort with amazing snorkeling. You know how he loves the water." Of course he had. My family had always operated this way. Decisions that affected me, made without me. I was reliable, Allison, the responsible one who never made waves, never said no, never disrupted their perfectly laid plans with her own inconvenient needs or desires. "I'll think about it," I said, my voice quiet, almost a whisper of defiance. But my fingers were already flying across my laptop, pulling up a travel website. This pattern, this quiet dismissal, had started years ago. When Samuel got into NYU, they threw a colossal party, custom banners, catered food, all their friends invited to celebrate their youngest son's achievement. A year earlier, when I'd gotten into Boston University with a full academic scholarship, they'd simply nodded, "That's nice, D." My acceptance letter stayed on the fridge for exactly 2 days before it was replaced by Samuel's summer dance recital schedule. Samuel, the family star. The fun one. The handsome one. The one who could do no wrong. Even when he dramatically dropped out of NYU after 2 years to find himself in Europe, My parents lauded his self-discovery journey, sending him monthly allowances while I worked 3 jobs through college, graduated summa cum laude, and built a successful career in marketing. All of which, apparently, earned me the dubious privilege of being the family's convenient, reliable backup plan. That evening, after Mom's infuriating call, I found myself captivated by one particular destination, Santorini, a small Greek island, a place I'd dreamed of visiting since my college photography class. The dates? They aligned perfectly with my family's Bahamas trip, and as if the universe was nudging me, there was a seat sale happening. My cursor hovered over the "Book Now" button, a tremor of rebellion running through me. My phone buzzed. A text from Samuel. "Mom said you're being weird about watching the dogs. Come on, Allison. Don't be difficult. It's not like you have vacation days saved up anyway. Plus, what would you even do with time off? You never go anywhere fun. The irony was suffocating. I actually had 3 weeks of vacation saved up. My family just assumed I never took time off because I had nowhere exciting to go. They'd conveniently forgotten about the travel blog I'd been running for 2 years, the one that had slowly, steadily gained a decent following. Another one of Allison's little hobbies, just like my photography in college and my writing in high school. Dismissed. Every single time. Then Dad called. "Your mother's upset. You know how Rocky gets at the kennel. He barely ate last time." A surge of hot anger, years in the making, finally broke through. "Did it ever occur to any of you to invite me on the trip?" I asked, my voice dangerously calm. The silence on the other end of the line was deafening. "Well," he stumbled, "Samuel mentioned you probably couldn't get time off work. And you know how your mother likes to plan these things. Plus, Beth already put down the deposit for their room, right?" "Right," I said flatly. "Just like she planned my college graduation party." "Oh, wait, she didn't. Because Samuel's semester abroad came up suddenly, and everyone had to fly to Paris instead." "That's not fair, Allison. Your brother needed family support during his journey of self-discovery." I looked at my computer screen, at the picture of that breathtaking Greek island, shimmering under an impossibly blue sky. Something profound shifted inside me. All those years of being the reliable one, the responsible one, the one they could always count on to sacrifice her own plans for theirs, it all crystallized into a moment of perfect, blazing clarity. "I'll let you know about the dogs tomorrow," I said, cutting him off. Then, with a deep breath, I hung up and clicked Book Now. My flight to Greece was confirmed. Midway subscribe line. By the way, if you're still hooked on this wild family saga, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. You won't want to miss the next unbelievable story I've got brewing. Main story continued the next morning. My phone was a war zone. 6 texts from Mom, a masterclass in guilt-tripping and outright demands. 3 voicemails from Samuel, each more condescending than the last. Even my dad, who usually steered clear of family drama, emailed me a lengthy, passive-aggressive explanation of why I was being unreasonable. But I was beyond their manipulations. I waited until our weekly family dinner to drop my bombshell. As usual, they were all gathered at my parents' house, animatedly discussing their upcoming Bahamas trip over Mom's signature lasagna. "I've made alternate arrangements for those dates," I announced during a lull in their conversation, my voice steady, almost serene. "You'll need to find someone else to watch Rocky and Maximum." Mom's fork clattered loudly against her plate, the sound echoing in the sudden silence. "What do you mean, alternate arrangements? What could be more important than helping your family?" "My trip to Greece," I replied, taking a slow sip of water, watching their faces contort from confusion to utter disbelief. "Greece?" Samuel scoffed, a disbelieving laugh escaping him. "You're not going to Greece." I pulled up my confirmed itinerary on my phone and calmly placed it on the table. "Actually, I am. 8 days on Santorini. starting the exact same day you leave for the Bahamas. But you can't. Mom sputtered, her eyes wide. What about the dogs? The kennel is fully booked. That sounds like poor planning on your part, I said, surprised by the unwavering strength in my voice. Maybe Samuel's girlfriend, Beth, could watch them, since she's apparently family enough to go to the Bahamas. That's different. Samuel protested, his face reddening. Beth's my partner. Besides, she's allergic to dogs. How convenient, I countered, standing up and gathering my things. I'm sure you'll figure something out. You always do when it's important to you. Allison, sit down, my dad ordered, his voice stern. You're being childish. This isn't like you. That's the problem, isn't it? I challenged, my voice rising slightly. You all decided who I was supposed to be, reliable Allison, dependable Allison, always available Allison. Did it ever occur to any of you that I might want to be included in family vacations? That I might have my own plans? My own life? The silence that followed was deafening, heavy with unsaid words and dawning realization. My mom looked on the verge of tears, while Samuel sat with his mouth hanging open, utterly speechless. My dad just stared at his plate, refusing to meet my eyes. I have to go, I said, heading for the door. I need to shop for swimsuits. Santorini has some amazing beaches. And with that, I walked out. The fallout was exactly what I expected. My mom launched a full-scale guilt campaign, enlisting every relative who would listen. Aunt Carol called to tell me how selfish I was. My cousin Rachel sent long, rambling texts about family loyalty. Even my grandmother weighed in, though she mostly seemed confused about why I couldn't watch the puppies from Greece. Samuel's approach was more direct. He showed up at my apartment unannounced. You're only doing this to spite us, he said, barging in without waiting for an invitation. This isn't like you, Allison. You've always been the responsible one. The responsible one. I repeated, a humorless laugh escaping me. You mean the convenient one? The one who's supposed to drop everything when the rest of you need something. That's not fair. We appreciate everything you do. Really? I challenged, my patience wearing thin. When was the last time any of you showed that appreciation? When was the last time you included me in family plans instead of just expecting me to fill in the gaps? Samuel flopped onto my couch, his perfect blonde hair falling exactly right, even in his frustration. We didn't think you'd want to come to the Bahamas. You're always so busy with work. Did you ask me? I pressed. Did anyone bother to ask if I might want to join my family on vacation? Well, no, but nothing. I cut him off. You all made assumptions about my life, my time, my priorities. And you know what? You got so comfortable taking me for granted that you didn't even try to hide your Bahamas plans. That's how little you thought of me. Samuel's face flushed. Mom and Dad are really upset. They might have to cancel their trip if they can't find someone to watch the dogs. That sounds like a you problem, I replied, throwing one of his favorite phrases right back at him. When did you get so cold? He asked, bewildered. I'm not cold, Samuel. I'm just done being the family doormat. I pulled up my travel blog on my phone. See this? I have followers who actually care about my interests. I have a life outside of being your backup plan. Samuel scrolled through my blog, his expression shifting from dismissal to genuine surprise. These photos are really good. When did you get into photography? 3 years ago, I said, a bitter note in my voice. Not that anyone noticed. The next family dinner was thick with tension. My mom had meticulously spread all the pet supplies across the dining room table, a silent, glaring guilt exhibition. Rocky's special food, Max's medication schedule, their favorite toys. She kept shooting me pointed looks as she explained their impossibly complicated care routine. The medication has to be given exactly 12 hours apart, she emphasized, waving Max's pill bottle like a tiny flag of distress. And Rocky needs his special blanket at bedtime, or he gets anxious. The kennel just won't understand these things. I'm sure they will, I replied, calmly serving myself more potatoes. That's literally their job. My dad cleared his throat. Allison, we could pay you to watch them. Make it worth your while. My Greece tickets were $3,000, Dad. Non-refundable. Samuel, who'd been unusually quiet since his visit to my apartment, suddenly spoke up. I looked at Allison's travel blog last week. Did you guys know she has over 20,000 followers? My mom barely glanced up from organizing pet supplies. That's nice, dear. Now, about the dogs. No, Mom. I'm serious. Look at these photos she took in Montreal last year. Samuel pulled up my blog on his phone, pushing it towards them. She's actually really good at this. For the first time that evening, my mom actually looked at me. Not through me, not around me, but at me. You went to Montreal. I've been to lots of places, I confirmed. I take short trips whenever I can. I write about them, photograph them. People follow my recommendations about hotels and restaurants. My dad peered at Samuel's phone. These are professional quality pictures, Allison. Why didn't you tell us about this? I did, I said, a wave of exhaustion washing over me. 3 Thanksgivings ago, you all changed the subject to Samuel's new yoga certification. The silence that followed was heavy with dawning, uncomfortable realization. My mom sat down heavily, still clutching Rocky's favorite tennis ball. We haven't been very good at listening to you, have we? No, you haven't, I said simply. But that doesn't change the fact that we need someone to watch the dogs, she added quickly, scrambling to regain control. And just like that, the moment was gone. I stood up. I'm going to Greece, Mom. With or without your blessing. Maybe it's time you all learned what it feels like to have your plans disrupted. As my departure date rapidly approached, my family cycled through all 5 stages of grief. My mom moved swiftly from denial to outright anger, calling me ungrateful. My dad, ever the pragmatist, tried bargaining, offering to pay for a different Greece trip when it's more convenient. Samuel oscillated wildly between depression, "You're ruining everything," and grudging acceptance, "Maybe we should have invited you." 2 days before my flight, my mom made one final, desperate attempt. She showed up at my apartment armed with old photo albums, pictures of me watching Samuel's dog when he was in Europe, of me taking care of our childhood pets. Always, always the responsible one. "You've always been so good with animals," she cooed, flipping through the pages. "Remember how you nursed Samuel's hamster back to health in high school?" "I remember," I said, my voice flat. "I also remember missing my friend's sweet 16 party to do it, while Samuel was at the beach with his friends." "That's different. You didn't mind back then." "No, Mom," I corrected her, meeting her gaze directly. "I did mind. I just wasn't allowed to say so." She closed the album with a snap. "Well, I hope you're happy. We had to cancel our trip. The kennel is full, and no one else can take the dogs for that long." I didn't respond immediately. Instead, I pulled out my laptop and turned it to face her. On the screen was a confirmation message from my building's pet-friendly neighbor, Mr. Chen, confirming he'd watch Rocky and Max for a reasonable fee. "I found you a solution," I said. "Mr. Chen is retired, loves dogs, and lives 2 floors down. He's happy to do it for what you would have paid the kennel." My mom stayed at the screen, her mouth slightly agape. "But why didn't you tell us sooner?" "Because for once," I explained, my voice laced with the quiet satisfaction of years of suppressed feelings finally seeing the light, "I wanted you all to feel what it's like not to have me as your backup plan. To understand what it feels like when someone disrupts your carefully made plans without considering your feelings." That's rather petty, don't you think?" No, Mom. I counted, holding her gaze. That's rather human. And maybe next time you're planning a family vacation, you'll remember this feeling and think to include your other daughter. The morning of my flight, I woke up to a flurry of notifications. My mom had tagged me in a social media post, something she'd never done before. It was a picture from my travel blog, one I'd taken in Montreal, with a lengthy caption gushing about how proud she was of her talented daughter and how she couldn't wait to see the beautiful photos from Greece. Samuel texted immediately. Mom's trying to save face with her country club friends. She's telling everyone she helped plan your Greece trip. I wasn't surprised. Image had always been everything to my mom. She'd probably realized that having a daughter with a successful travel blog was something she could actually brag about at her tennis club. But her attempt at public support didn't erase years of quiet dismissal. Then, my dad dropped by before I left for the airport, awkwardly holding a brand new camera lens. "Your brother showed me your blog," he said, extending the lens. "I noticed you mentioned wanting this one for low-light shots. I thought maybe you could use it in Greece." It was the lens, the exact one I'd been saving up for. Part of me wanted to refuse it, to show them I didn't need their belated support. But I saw something in my dad's eyes I'd never seen before, genuine interest in my passion. "Thanks, Dad," I said, accepting the gift, a small smile touching my lips. "Want to see some of the shots I plan to get with it?" He sat with me for an hour, actually listening as I explained composition and lighting. He even pulled up my blog on his phone and followed it right there in front of me. "You know," he said as he was leaving, "I canceled my share of the Bahamas trip. Told your mother and brother to go without me." "Dad, you didn't have to." "Yes, I did. Someone needs to watch the dogs properly, and Mr. Chen might need backup." He paused at the door, a small, knowing smile on his face. "Plus, I want to see these Greece photos as you post them. Maybe you could teach me how to comment on a blog." That afternoon, as I boarded my flight to Greece, my phone buzzed with messages. Samuel had sent a surprisingly sincere, "Have a great trip, sis. Your pictures better be amazing." My mom had texted instructions for accessing their home security cameras so I could check on the dogs. Bless her, still missing the point entirely, but at least she'd stopped guilt-tripping me. But it was my dad's message that brought unexpected tears to my eyes. "Just posted my first blog comment. Hope I did it right. Make sure to take care of yourself in Greece, not just your camera. Love, Dad." I settled into my seat, a profound sense of empowerment washing over me. Sometimes it takes a dramatic gesture, a bold step, to shake people out of their established patterns. My family had spent years casting me in the role of reliable background character in their story. Maybe, just maybe, they'd finally seen me step into the spotlight of my own narrative. Santorini was everything I'd dreamed of and more. Each morning, I woke up to spectacular sunrises over the iconic blue-domed churches, spending my days photographing winding cobblestone streets and pristine beaches. My blog followers devoured the daily updates. But what surprised me most were the comments from my family. My dad, bless him, commented on every single post, his typing skills improving from beautiful sunset sun to actual thoughtful observations about lighting and composition. Samuel, in a complete turnaround from his usual competitiveness, shared my posts on his own social media, tagging me with messages like, "Look what my amazing sister is doing." My mom, however, took a different approach. She called daily with updates about the dogs, as if trying to remind me of what I'd left behind. "Rocky misses you," she'd lament, "or Max won't eat unless your father hand-feeds him." When those transparent guilt trips didn't work, she switched tactics, calling to critique my photos. "Don't you think you're posting too many sunset pictures? And that restaurant review seemed a bit harsh. You don't want to hurt anyone's business." One evening, sitting at a cliffside cafe, I got an unexpected call from Mr. Chen. "Your mother has been here 6 times today," he said, sounding utterly amused. She brings coffee and asks endless questions about my pet sitting experience. I think she's having trouble letting go of control. I'm so sorry, I started, mortified. But Mr. Chen just chuckled. Don't be. I told her that after 40 years of teaching high school, 2 dogs are no trouble. She didn't like that much. That same night, my dad sent me a private message. Your mother booked herself into a hotel for the remainder of their Bahamas trip. Says she can't enjoy herself knowing strangers are watching her dogs. Samuel's pretty upset about it. I felt a momentary pang of guilt, a flicker of the old Allison. But then I remembered all the times my plans, my needs, my desires had been dismissed for the sake of family harmony. My mom's choice to ruin her own vacation wasn't my responsibility. Instead of cutting my trip short or apologizing, I posted more photos. I wrote about solo female travel, about breaking free from family expectations, about finding your own path. The response was overwhelming. Hundreds of comments from people sharing similar stories, thanking me for inspiring them to stand up for themselves. My blog following doubled, then tripled. A travel magazine reached out about featuring my Greece photos. Samuel called to tell me that his yoga students were all following my journey, asking when I'd come teach a photography workshop at his studio. You know what's funny? He said, a note of genuine admiration in his voice. I always thought I was the brave one, going to Europe to find myself. But you're the one who really did it. You found yourself right under our noses, and we were too busy with our own drama to notice. On my last night in Greece, I sat on my hotel balcony, uploading photos, when my mom sent a surprising message. It was a picture of my old bedroom, now her home office, filled with framed prints of my travel photography. I had your best shots professionally framed, she wrote. Thought they deserved better than my social media reposts. Below that, a longer message. I've been doing a lot of thinking while you've been gone. Your dad pointed out something I didn't want to hear, that we'd taken you for granted for so long. We forgot you had dreams of your own. I'm not very good at apologies, but I'm trying to do better at showing you I care. Mr. Chen continued to send daily dog photos, each one showing Rocky and Max being perfectly fine without my mum's hovering. The last one showed my dad teaching her how to use my blog, both of them smiling at the camera while the dogs lounged contentedly nearby. Samuel's final vacation photos from the Bahamas looked different from his usual carefully staged shots. Trying to see things through your photographer's eyes, he captioned them. Not as good as yours, but I'm learning to look deeper. Something truly had shifted during those 8 days. My family was far from perfect, of course. My mom still sent daily texts about the dogs. My dad still struggled with technology, and Samuel still had moments of competitive jealousy. But they were trying. And sometimes, that's all you can ask for. Not a complete transformation, but a willingness to see you in a new light. Ending, months after my Greek adventure, my family gathered for Thanksgiving. The dining room walls now featured a beautiful mix of my vibrant travel photographs alongside our traditional family portraits. My mom had even turned my blog's logo into elegant place cards for the table, a small gesture, but one that spoke volumes. We've got an announcement, my mom said during dinner, beaming. We're planning another family vacation. I braced myself, a familiar apprehension tightening in my chest, expecting more exclusion. But Samuel jumped in, a genuine smile on his face. And before you say anything, Allison, we want you to help plan it. Your blog followers loved your Greece content so much, we thought maybe you could work your magic on our next family trip. My dad pulled out a folder, brimming with printouts. I've been researching photography tours in Italy, he said, his eyes twinkling. Thought maybe you could teach us a thing or two about taking better pictures than just selfies and dog photos. Plus, my mom added, trying to sound casual, Mr. Chen already agreed to watch Rocky and Maximum. I asked him months ago, just to be sure. I looked around the table, and for the first time, I really saw them. My mom, still controlling, but trying to channel it differently. My dad, discovering a new connection with me through my passion. Samuel, finally seeing me as a person, an individual, rather than just competition or convenient utility. Italy sounds perfect, I said, pulling out my phone to show them some initial ideas, a triumphant warmth spreading through me. But this time, I'm handling the itinerary. Wouldn't have it any other way, my dad smiled, his gaze full of pride. After all, you're the expert. And that's my story. It took a trip across the world and a lot of uncomfortable conversations to finally make my family see me. But it was worth it. Call to action. CTA, so tell me, have you ever had to make a dramatic stand to get your family or loved ones to truly see and appreciate you? What would you have done in my place? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious.